Oh, I'm there now.
Good evening. Welcome to each and every one of you lovely people. Thank you for coming over and joining us for another special guest Earworm. And I'm really happy to say that we have Mr. Mike Waldt in. Here he is, look, on these lovely holidays.
Good evening, all.
Thank you, Mike, for joining us. And also, obviously, Brian and Mark are joining us as well. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in.
No worries. You're welcome.
So, as always, if you guys have got any questions for Mike, I'm sure Mike will be happy to answer a few.
Indeed.
So, obviously, we want to know what Mike's been doing. We want to know what he's got coming up. And, you guys know the routine. We're here to know about Mike. So, if you've got any questions, chuck them in the chat and we'll see what Mike's got to say for himself. So, with that, I will.
That's an oxymoron, isn't
it? He's a shy fella. Let's try and drag him out of himself a bit tonight.
So, right, what I've got on the lathe is a I think it's a piece of ash. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to go there, but that's what I think it is. I'm going to actually do a goblet. I know this is a bit of a challenge with Mike as an Earworm, because we know Mike is the goblet master.
I'm not saying a word. The
look on your face, Mike. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rough shape this, get rid of all this old bark. There's a bit of worm in there, so I don't know how deep that goes in. So I'm going to rough shape this. While I'm rough shaping this, I will get the guys to welcome everybody in. So, way one of you go.
Either do it, Brian. Do you want me to?
You work away there, Mark. You're the expert of this kind of thing. I'm just here to make up numbers.
Okay, well, from the participants list, we've got Brian at Woodturning, Copper Al Woodturning, Dara Coolan, Darren Callison, Dave Otey, Door 60, Gary Letitia, Gerard the French Turner, Jay's Cabin, James Crawford, Joe Senior, Kitty 602, Neil M, Norman Greenwell, Paul Houghton, the Grisby Turner, Peter Corcoran, some dodgy fella called skkrafts, Steve Hale, Stuart Ingerill, TC Woodwork, Terry Bartlett, TJ Turning, Todd of Glen Cove Woodworks, Trevor P. Hobby Turner, Trevor Reed, Wayne the Wood Turner, William Kenny, Wivey Woodshed, and Wood Wizardry by Colin. If I have missed anybody out, I do apologise. Blame you two.
Todd at Glen Cove Woodworks has just said, what a distinguished set of earworms. Yeah, he doesn't know us very well, does he?
No, he hasn't learned to know us yet at all.
I think I find that offensive, actually, that comment.
Does that mean old and grey? Is that what that means?
Yes, I think so.
2 questions straight off the bat for you, Mike.
Yeah,
one from Wivey Woodshed, which is Andrew. He says, Mike, what's your preferred brand of masking tape, please?
Hello, Andrew, and good evening. Welcome. So nice to see you and hear you. Did that sound sarcastic? I didn't mean to. No, actually, any brand that doesn't stick is my preferred brand of masking tape.
I just say any brand that you can operate.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, I haven't actually found one I can operate yet, Mark, as you well know.
I know. And the second question was from Joe Senior.
Oh, hi, Joe.
He says, out of all the pieces he's turned, what is your favourite, please?
Four. I suppose the most challenging one, and that I got done, was that big 30 odd inch spalted beech platter I did a couple of years ago.
You did that on the FU230, didn't you?
I did on it was the only it was an outboard turning. But in recent times, the most satisfying is my latest one. Actually, is that hull of the vase that's only 2/3 of a vase because it stayed together.
Yeah.
And that's it really. Everyone is a favourite when I complete it, Joe. Because to be quite honest with you, I always take a sigh of relief when it stays in one piece. So life is one big excitement, and But yeah, I think those two stand out for me more than any other.
I'm sure somebody's probably going to ask this later on, but I'll ask it now. What was the thing that got you started? Why wood turning?
His memory's not that good.
It's not. It was more than 2 weeks ago. I can't remember, so I have to make this up. What it was, I've always been into woodwork. Not to a degree of sort of cabinet level, but I've always been interested, and I always liked working with wood, which is an old cliche, but it happens to be the truth. And I forget even what I needed it for. I needed to turn something round. I needed a round piece. And I looked at the Axminster catalogue online, and I thought, I know, I'll get one of those drill-powered lathes, and that's what I was going to do. And then one thing led to another, and I bought my first lathe because I thought, I read reviews on the drill-powered lathe, and I thought, no. And I thought, it looks quite interesting. And I started looking at videos on YouTube. So I bought my first lathe, and the rest is really history. I just caught the bug straight away, So that's what started me. A drill-powered lathe and a round bit of. I could have gone down to B&Q and bought a bit of dowel, but I thought, that'd be good fun trying to turn something round, Yeah. And being stupid, what I did, I bought the cheapest set of tools I could find on eBay, and they were Chinese mild steel tools in preparation for me to get this, drill-powered lathe. So needless to say, I never used them. But yeah, that's the answer.
Excellent. Brian, do you want to ask the next one? Darren.
There are so many questions. I've seen Darren's question there a second ago and I can't find it now.
He said, Mike, what is your favourite wood turning chisel?
Is that? I'll find
My
it.
favourite wood turning chisel. I have two. Can I say two?
Yeah,
of course you can.
Yeah. My 3/8 spindle gouge and my bowl gouge. Those are my two favourite tools. I have no tools I dislike, but those are the two that I use the most, I think, and I feel most comfortable with.
I'm starting to get much more comfortable with the skew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to say, my oval skew is fast becoming my favourite tool, I think.
Yeah.
My 3/8 bowl gouge is probably my favourite.
Either my 3/8 or the 1/2 inch.
You can do so much with them, though. That's the thing. They're so versatile.
Yeah, I do enjoy the skew, and when I get it right, I get a really strange sense of satisfaction. But the reliability of the skew doing something important on a piece that I've worked on, I very rarely take that chance because I haven't put the hours in on it.
So Joe has suggested that she's asked a couple of questions earlier in the chat. I'm afraid the chat's moving that quick, Joe. Could you ask them again so we can pick them up?
Yeah. And
it's just disappearing here. It's quicker than I can read it.
Rob CP has asked a question. It's kind of a leading question. I feel he may be fishing for compliments here. Question
Mr.
for Mike,
Beckett.
please. Who is your favourite in your live chats?
Aww. There's a
It's
compliment
definitely not.
fish.
It's definitely not you, Rob.
Cunning stunts, isn't it? Graham.
Do you know what? And this is true, Rob. And I get shot down in flames for being such a weak, lily-livered, sit-on-the-fence person. I enjoy the lives that much. Everybody that contributes is a star, in my opinion, because everybody congregates together. It's a little community within a community, if you like, and it's brilliant. And there's nobody that I dislike. Let's put it that way. And obviously, people like yourself, Rob, and people like Mark and Brian and Steve, and people that I interact with outside of the lives. Obviously, there is an affinity there. I mean, Cunning Stunts is a friend of mine that I've known for a number of years, but there is no preference as such, if you know what I mean. It is. I enjoy everybody's input, and I enjoy having a laugh. And yes, Rob, you do make me laugh. Which proves
Rob
that
makes
you're
everyone laugh. He's a great guy.
nearly as weird as me, mate. and you're a proper artist. And you're a proper artist.
We've had a few other people join us. Robbo Robertson's just joined us in.
Hi, Robbo.
Hey, Robbo.
TJ Turning is in. I don't know if you said him earlier. But he's just making a little comment there. He says, I love the Corwin waist skew. That's probably because Terry's just bought one. He's just rubbing that in a bit there.
Which skew's he got?
The Corwin way.
One.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. That's the one with the narrow shank, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that gets smaller every time you grind it.
Michelle Oosby's just joined the chat. Hi, Michelle.
Oh, no.
Hi, Michelle.
Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow morning, Michelle.
Oh, you creep.
So, Darren has just suggested that we come here for the banter in the chat. The wood turning is just a bonus.
I'm enjoying it. Is that medium or thin sear you're using there,
Steve? I've just put thin in. I'm now putting medium in.
Mm-hmm.
Joe's asked, what's your favourite wood to turn, Mike?
Right. My favourite wood to turn is ash. Closely followed by yew.
I thought you'd say yew.
Yeah, everybody thinks I say yew, but I actually thought about it the other day, and I always say yew's a lovely wood to turn, which it is. But I think because I've turned so much ash, because purely and simply that a friend of mine had a big tree come down in a part of the country, field which he actually rents, and I have a terrific amount. Oh, not so much now, but I did have an awful lot of ash. Ash can be a bit of a pig to turn sometimes, but if you get it right, I almost like the textured rippling effect that you get, and I love olive ash. I think olive ash is fabulous.
I turned a lovely piece a couple of weeks ago with olive ash.
Yeah. Yew is brilliant. I think the only downside to yew is the fact that it is toxic, and even with respirators on. I am on a holiday, guys, and I'm on the Diet Coke, and there's nothing in it, but I'm still drunk. With the respirator, even with the respirator on, I sometimes get a bit of an adverse reaction from yew because it's in the atmosphere, and I've got air filtration, everything else, but sometimes it doesn't always. But apart from that, ash, yew, and any free wood that I can get, I love turning.
That's always the best wood.
Yeah, I mean, I've turned some lovely exotics that I've been very kindly sent by subscribers from various parts of the world. But I think on a general basis, if someone said to me, and this is a very long answer to a very simple question, if someone said to me, right, you will turn no other wood for the rest of your life, what would it be? I would have to say ash. And people are going to say you're mad, but that's just me personally.
No, you do get some lovely figurine in ash.
Just because you agree with me, Mark, doesn't mean to say that I'm not mad.
No, I know, but you are mad.
Exactly.
That's true. Yeah.
We've had another couple of people come in.
To me.
Nick Castle's joined. Benjamin's joined.
Oh, but not Benjamin. Can you ban him, please?
Yeah, I know. Vince Kerrigan. Dave Oatey. Dave Oatey's local to me. He lives about 18 miles away.
Well, you can ban him as well, and if he's local to you.
He lives in Lawrence.
All right, Ben.
Don't hold it against him. Did we have any other questions?
There was a question from Ben, but I've lost it. Let's see.
Oh, that's good.
Well, Wivy Wishhead, is it because ash takes colour so well, Mike?
Hello, Ivy. Yes, it is. You
That's
see,
what it is,
I
yeah.
live in it's the excitement of the expectation of when I do actually colour it. It's got to reward me with my efforts. So that's why I like ash as
Being
well.
that you're an internationally renowned colourist.
Exactly. Yeah.
Lawrence Padilla has joined us, guys.
Hello.
Good evening.
Evening, Lawrence.
Hey, Lawrence. Michael
Not
Howe's joined as well. He's local to me. He's my wood dealer.
He is.
And Steve's wood dealer now as
And
well.
he agrees with Mike that ash is lovely, especially when it's figured.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I say olive ash is stunning.
Yeah, stunning. Yeah, absolutely.
But and I must have put, not that anybody cares because I'm a guest. I can't see the chat because the cottage that I'm in are rented. I was going to say no. I was second home for 2 weeks of the year. Has broadband, but it is a bit iffy. So if I can't get the chat up, so I'm not going to bother trying to. So that's why I am not active in the chat. You'll be pleased to hear. So I'm relying on Brian and Mark.
Oops.
So Rob CP says he likes to turn pine. I like to turn pine as well. It's a great practice medium.
Do you know, even pine sometimes can be really beautiful with a grain pattern.
Oh yes, it can be. Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, as Brian just said, if you people say, oh, get a fence post out. I don't like, when you're practicing and especially when you're learning, if you can get a good finish on pine and the soft, the soft woods with knots in it, etc., it enhances your tool skills, because if you get it on pine, you can get it on the exotics maybe, and your good wood when you want to make a project. It's a very good wood to practice on.
Quick question from Joe, which we can answer straight away. Yes, Joe, he's in Whitby.
I am.
He's in. So that Glen Clove Woodworks has said, big thanks to you all for being such great ambassadors for woodturning. I would say that Mike has been a special ambassador for woodturning. Over the 10 years that he's been
special, special needs. Big to him, Mark.
Yes, that's terrible, Mike. I wasn't thinking that at all.
No. Well, Mark,
how you doing, by the way, Steve? You still there?
Yeah, I'm just listening.
Yeah. Oh, is anybody turning tonight? What is that? I thought you were going to do a goblet, Mark.
Steve even.
No, I'm going to call. No. Oh, I'm going to call him Mark. Sorry.
Steve, not Mark. Mark.
No, I know Steve's doing a goblet. I thought Mark was doing a goblet.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just sat here on my sofa.
Oh, sorry.
Mark was supposed to be turning a mushroom, but he neglected these duties.
Yeah, don't worry, Steve. I do know you are Steve.
Oh, that's all right.
I was generally just making a very poor attempt at a joke, saying I thought Mark was doing a goblet tonight.
Nick Castles has asked a question.
Anyway, Steve, when are you going to get a goblet?
Say again.
I said, when are you going to get a goblet? Are you actually oh, you're sharpening. I thought, sorry. I could hear this noise, and I thought, hang on, Steve's picture's frozen.
Ruby Claire's come in. Hi, Ruby.
Hi, Ruby.
I think Steve's picture has frozen. Steve, your picture froze, buddy.
No, he hasn't.
Is it not?
No.
My YouTube is. Well, there it's back again.
YouTube's still running. I've got it on the telly.
Yeah, okay. It was just at my end.
It did really strangely sound. The Sorby sounded just like turning on the lathe.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
So Nick Castle's asking a question. He says, does wood become harder the longer you keep it? He said he was turning a small piece of Zebrano earlier, and it was solid. Well, as wood dries, it gets harder.
Yeah. Can get harder to turn the older it gets, yeah.
Drier and dustier, it certainly does.
Mm.
Ruby Claire has said poplar is a good practice wood as well. Good evening, Ruby.
Look at the cracks in that bit of wood. That's horrendous.
Yeah.
Will that hold together, do you reckon, when I hollow that out? Oh, that's tempting, isn't it?
Jigsy's in. No, Jigsy.
We'll soon
Evening,
find out.
Jigsy.
I shouldn't say this, Steve, but what I do with that is exactly what you're doing.
Well, you know what they say, don't you? Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
No, the thing is, when
Hi, Lionel.
When you're hollowing it out, the crack that you're hollowing doesn't matter as long as the integrity, the outer skin, as it were, going down. Let's say, 10 mil, whatever.
Yep.
That's the important thing.
Right.
And I've only seen that through experience. I've had a lot of not just goblets, stuff that's cracked, and I've got to carry on with it, use it as practice or whatever. And as long as you get the outer skin integrity sorted, you're okay.
Right. Okay.
And if it blows up, blame Mark.
Yeah.
Oh, I will do. I will do.
Question from Terry for you, Mike. Do you have any other hobbies apart from wood turning?
I
know one that you used to do.
Slight. No. I have other interests. I love the garden, obviously, and maybe Mew can hear me, and I love my wife as a hobby. Sorry. And I like photography. I like gardening, but my passion. I have other hobbies, but my passion is wood turning.
You used to like to play golf as well, didn't you?
I did, and because I work, I had two choices. And when I was on the golf course and I was waiting to finish my round of golf to get back to the lathe, I thought, yeah, okay, one or the other, and wood turning. Unfortunately for everybody, wood turning won out.
Lawrence, somebody's already asked that question, mate. If you go back and watch from the beginning, Mike answered that question early on.
So Gene LH has joined us.
Oh yeah, Gene.
That says Andy H is for turning.
Rob CP says Mike's hobby is driving buses. Speaking from experience, that ain't no hobby.
No, actually, you're right, Rob. Yeah,
Maybe
the thing I can't stand getting up for in the morning is going into the workshop, and what I relish and miss dreadfully is not getting up to drive a bus. So you're right, Rob. Yeah. Driving's the hobby, and wood turning is the work. I wish.
Benjamin's asking, Mike, do you ever bore the passengers on the bus with talking about wood turning, and do they ask to get off? Yes.
Yes. No.
No, I say yes.
I never taught wood turning at work, apart from a few people a few sad bus drivers that actually do follow my lives and my videos. But a little story which is not off-piste at all. When I sort of highlight how things develop as you get more involved and have more years in wood turning. When I started wood turning, I was actually doing a run with passengers on board, and there was a freshly cut alder on the side of the road. And it had literally, like, you could virtually smell the oil from the chainsaw. And obviously the council had got off with what they had, and they had this log left, and I should think it must have been about 6-7 foot. And it was only about, that sort of a diameter. So I pulled, and Mark will know, it wasn't a Decker, it was the old shuttle buses,
yeah, shuttle darts.
So I stopped the bus in between stops, and I got out, and I hauled this log onto the bus, and I put it down. I mean, we're talking 10 years ago. We couldn't do it now. I'd be fined. And I lay it down in the gangway, to the expression of about 4 or 5 people that were on there. My last couple of stops, sort of, what the hell is this man doing? Anyway, I dropped them off and that, and obviously picked up people on the way back to the depot or to the bus station, and I was apologising for this log. I was making some story up. Anyway, I got back to the bus station. Everybody got off, and I hauled this log off, and I dragged it through the bus station into the inspector's office. And I said, "Do us a favour, John, hang on to this till I finish tonight, will you?" And I propped it up against the door, and I'd walked out. I didn't wait for him to say.
Pete from Twisted Trees is in. He says they can't get off Mike's bus. Mike tapes the passengers to the seats with his ninja-like masking tape skills.
Actually, on a serious note, I wish I could, to be honest with you. It's so quiet compared to pre-COVID at the moment. You get one passenger on, you want to keep in there, because they're paying your wages at the end of the day, aren't they?
Yeah.
So,
Dewey
shared has got some good news. He just bought himself a new lathe.
Oh, nice one, Dewey. What do you get, mate?
He's brought the Herald, Cornet Herald.
Nice.
And some other stuff as well, he says. Well done, you.
Stuff.
Good job, mate.
Is 81 watching, Steve?
Blimey. Thank you very much. Well, they're not here to see me, are they, really?
They're not here to see me either. It must be Brian and Mark.
Yeah, no, I doubt that.
No.
Right.
Absolutely.
I highly doubt that.
I'm going to cheat. I'm going to force some of this out.
So Michelle suggests that there may soon be more glue than wood there, Steve.
Well, we're getting close to it.
So then you're turning resin, basically.
Yeah.
Are you using thin or medium, Steve?
I use spin to start with, and then put the medium in on top.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. So it must be wrong, Steve.
Yeah.
There's got to be a CA finish on this goblet.
What I'm going to say is, Mike, I learned from the best.
Who was that then?
Well spotted. What size of fastener bit is that you're using, Steve?
Yeah.
Just the first one that came out of your hand.
I reckon it's about 40 mil. I will measure it and let you know.
Mike Lang's in. He says the earworm sounds like old Robbie the Woodturner.
God, there's a blast from the past.
Old Robbie the Woodturner. I don't know who old Robbie the Woodturner is.
Let me tell you something, Brian. Go on to YouTube.
Go and look him up.
When Steve's finished, obviously. Or even while he's turning, doesn't matter.
I don't think I'll wait that long.
No. And just put in Robbie the Woodturner. I tell you what, that man, he suffered from Asperger's.
Yep.
And he shook like this all the time.
Okay.
And the stuff that he produced was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And he's gone off the grid for the last 2 or 3 years. But he was one of my inspirers, if you like, when I started turning.
Brilliant.
Oh, he's superb.
Who inspires you now, Mike?
Mark. Shall I tell you something? There are so many people. Mark and Brian and Steve, obviously, and Wayne. Everybody inspires me purely and simply, especially when you see people on YouTube, because the inspiration comes from the fact that they're not. You are not afraid to get out there.
Yep.
And people can see you improving as time goes on, which in itself is an inspiration to the newer turner, because they see you at the start of your journey.
Yep.
And you're in the same situation that you were in the same situation, let's say maybe 6 months previously when they start, and they can see your progression. And that is an inspiration, not just to me, but to all turners, I think, is the people that have the goodwill, if you like, to give their time and do it, and put it out there.
Fun.
And Mark, and I must say, Mark as well, is not one of those inspirational people, unfortunately.
Yeah, I knew it was going to feedback sandwich. Start nice.
Oh, Baz is in, guys.
Oh no!
Stand by your beds.
Hiya, Baz. How you doing, buddy? There you go.
Oops.
You see, this is totally alien to me, you see.
This not hollowing with a gouge.
Mike always uses
it's great for boxes and stuff, but not for God.
It's a bit blunt, that. I think I'll hand turn it out.
Good decision.
Want sharpening up.
That's a large Forstner bit you got there, Steve.
Yes.
Or is it a small goblet?
A small goblet.
Sorry.
It's only 70 mil. It is 3 inches. It's not
70
huge.
mil. Oh, I've got it. My biggest is 52 bill.
Benjamin's got something to say for you, Steve. He says, I think Steve inspires a lot of people.
Oh, here we go.
Just because you're from Norfolk and have 6 fingers and webbed feet doesn't mean you can't learn an adequate bowl.
Thanks, Ben.
I love that.
Nice one, Ben.
Brilliant.
Just put him on timeout, will you, somebody?
I didn't know it was 6
No,
fingers.
it's too funny, Steve. No, we can't put him in time.
I was always told it was 4 fingers and 2 thumbs. I'm sorry, I didn't realise.
Right, let's hollow this out with.
Ziggy Shed has to dash. Catch you later, guys, he says.
See you later, mate. Thanks
See
for
ya.
coming over.
Bye, Ziggy.
All the best, mate. Ta-da.
Doug Miller from Woodturning. Hi, Doug.
Hi, Doug.
Doug.
Yeah. Right, you're on camera.
Andy
So
Clark,
you've been turning for 30 minutes, Steve.
Oh, thank you.
84 people watching.
Actually, we've got to get Mike to say hi to Andy, because Mike's probably the only one in here who can say his last name properly.
What's that?
Llanelli. Clanethley.
Oh, Clanethley, yeah.
There you go.
Clanethley. Hot firewood.
Oh, it's Andy. Oh, you're Andy. How are you?
Everybody always
I-
butchers his last
Michael
name.
Loren?
Sorry?
Say that again, Brian.
Christine and Michael are in.
Oh, hello,
Christine.
Christina Michael. How
How
are you? The Heseltides.
Yes.
That's it.
Was it? No, it wasn't. Or was it?
Yeah.
Was it you, Mike, that had the alder on you and asking for had the cracks at the side? No. Or was it? On Facebook, somebody put up, they were doing a bowl or something and there was cracks on the side and they asked what wood it was. No?
Earworm Paul's here as well. Sorry,
'Cause
Paul,
I-
I thought I said your name earlier.
Yes, so did I. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul. If the broadband will take YouTube chat.
What tool are we using now, Steve?
The Simon Hope hollowing tool.
Simon, what is the mini hauler or the big one?
Looks like the 10 mil.
Oh, that's a 10 mil.
10 mil.
No.
The one with the short bar on it. One with the built-in handle on it.
Oh, that's the 8 mil one then.
I'll make your mind
No,
up.
is that the square bar?
Yeah.
Square
Yeah,
bar
that's
with the 8 mil
that's
cutter.
the 8 mil. Yeah.
Hey,
I'll tell you what, with that, you could do some lovely push and pull cuts with that.
Yeah.
And
is that because it has a square bar and it sits on the tool rest easier?
yeah, well, you
as
can
opposed to the
angle
round bar.
most of them. You can do it with a round bar as well. But if you've got a fixed, some of them are fixed to 45 degrees, so you can't use them
Okay.
in reverse. But that one is so easy to use as a turning tool, if you like, if you're so inclined, as well as a damn good wood hogger.
Rob TP's got another question. Again, he may well be fishing for compliments here. Question for Mike, please. Who is your favourite YouTube turner? Gonna say himself.
Again, apart from me, no. I'll be honest, it's not a question that I think I can answer because I said earlier on, Rob, if you hadn't fallen asleep and listened, all YouTubers are. I shouldn't say that to Mr. Beckett, actually, after that wonderful portrait. Well, yes, I can, because I was annoyed. It's such a good likeness. Well, I will say to you, my favourite turner, I haven't got a favourite turner. I have a lot of favourite turners, and I don't mean to, that is a genuine comment.
Yep.
One of my long-time favourite turners, if you like, is because he inspired me in the beginning. Because as I keep telling him, Carl Jacobson, I keep telling him there's no one else to watch. He was the only one on here, so I was forced to watch him. You know, people like Carl and John Lucas have started coming back into the fold again. John Lucas, a very talented American turner, because I say in my day, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, when I started turning, the only inspiration and the only sort of instructional videos on wood turning were produced by Americans or Canadians or Australians, but primarily it was from America. It was the US, because wood turning is so massive over there.
Yeah.
But now, we were saying earlier on before we went live, what really warms the cockles of my heart and the guys that are earworming here tonight, and indeed Steve or Mark, I can't remember his name, Steve or Mark, one of the two, the guy that's turning.
That's Steve.
You can really see his hand. That the amount of people that have got into turning over the last sort of, especially 5-6 years, you know, and the youngsters that are getting into it, and that is the inspiration for us, I think, and that's what we do it for, is to try and encourage people to at least have a go, you know.
Yeah, and that's a couple of people have agreed with you that they've been forced to watch Carl because it was kind of all that was on at the time.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I say the late great Bob, from Canada. Oh, turned on a one-way. He passed away, unfortunately, a few years ago. Suddenly, actually.
Ruby will know him then.
Oh, sure, Ruby will know. I'm sure Ruby will. He turned on a one-way lathe. He was an extremely good instructor and turner, of course.
I've got one of them. A one-way lathe.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You do, right enough. It only goes one way. Yeah,
I thought I'd get it in before. I thought I'd get it in before someone else did.
Oh, you haven't got reverse on it, yeah.
I was thinking about it, but
yeah, of course she was.
Yeah,
of course she was. Thanks, mate.
Do you know what?
Right,
I very rarely use it. The reverse facility, very rarely. I've tried turning in reverse, just because you can. But
I've done a little bit of turning in reverse just to try and get into the. Because these are sometimes to reach into the back of the piece.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But shall I tell you what?
You have to lean over the lathe. You can actually just go in from the front, just the same.
But what I've done, it took me years to realise it, that I don't really need reverse, because all you've got to do is stand on the other side of the lathe.
The street, you walk around the lathe, of course.
Yeah,
mine's up against the wall.
Yeah, mine always was. But when I moved it out, I mean, I had mine against the wall for about 3 or 4 years, maybe longer. And then when I had it in the middle, I was still doing the same thing, you know. And I think, well, actually, what would happen if I walked to the other side of the lathe and all of a sudden, hey, presto, you're turning backwards. But that's because I'm slow, you see.
Mike Lang has said YouTube in general is a great inspiration, and Stuart Batty is one of the greats. I agree with that.
Totally. Stuart Batty, Jimmy Clues, Nick Agar, all these. I mean, you know, Steve Jones, all these guys. But from tutelage, Stuart Batty is brilliant, absolutely brilliant, because he's down to earth.
Sorry, Mike. Mark Valentine has put Bob Hamilton.
Bob Hamilton. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, Bob Hamilton. Yeah. Another one for you new turners to, you know, I mean, the videos are quite, I say dated, that's a terrible thing to say. I don't think it was in HD, but that doesn't matter. But you listen to the guy and watch what he does, and he explains what he does. Many years experience. The same with John Lucas. Some of John Lucas's early work, he really does well, you know, in explaining the mechanics of turning, you know. And these are the guys that I sort of watched, because there was no one else to watch, thank goodness. I mean, I was watching people who knew what they were talking about. And then somebody like me turns up and starts talking rubbish. Yeah, go on, Brian. Yeah.
So I've got what I think is a new name, guys. It's Geordie B. Who says hi all. I think that's a new name. I don't remember seeing that before.
Geordie B. Oh, yeah?
B.
Oh, welcome.
Welcome along, buddy. Nice to see you. And Rob CP has a question for you, Mike. He says, who is your favourite pastel artist that has also painted your portrait and is also learning wood turning and is from Newcastle?
Mark Beckett.
Can
Oh,
we type
no. It's not Mark Beckett, is it? It's Rob. What's his name?
Yeah, I have no idea. Rob something.
What's his surname? I can't remember. It's similar to Beckett, isn't it? Rob Beckett. No, Rob.
From Newcastle.
Stop fishing for compliments, Rob.
But
that's all I can say.
Well, all I can say is
very needy.
The only portrait I've seen you do, Rob, whoever that model was, is drop dead gorgeous, mate. I tell you.
Nate from Twisted Tree says, I never knew that woodturners made YouTube content until COVID forced me to watch it. By then, there were hundreds of them. Yeah, right.
Thanks, Pete. Yeah.
You just love the support.
I don't know. I've never had any, so I wouldn't know, mate.
I got a question for you, Mike. Have you ever been recognised on the bus while you've been driving?
Yes. I say that immediately because it's happened twice in 10 years. But I had somebody come up to me, not on the bus actually. She got off the bus and actually walked away and then came back and said to me, do you do YouTube videos? I said, yes, I do actually. I said, how did you know that? She said, me and my husband watch you. And I clocked her and I said to her straight away, I said, well, don't get on my bus again. I said, because anybody watches me has got a severe character problem. And she laughed. So, but I noticed my subscriber count went down by 2. So I think her and her husband decided to go somewhere else. But yeah, it's only happened twice. But
Mark Ballantyne is in.
Good
evening, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
And Proud's in as well. Hi, Di.
Hi, Di.
Di Proud.
Peter Cochran has said the other turner I watched was Captain Eddie Castellan.
Captain Eddie. Yeah, Captain Eddie Castellan. Yeah, the captain.
That's another one I've not heard of.
Big Guy Promotions.
Ben Jammins asks, which would Mike rather give up, wood turning or Diet Coke? Oh, tough question.
Ooh.
That's a tough one. I'll be honest with you. It's a tough one.
That's the answer. Which would you give up, wood turning or Diet Coke? Mew.
No. Although you can't hear me, can you, darling? She's banished. I mean, the cottage we've got has got a living room, 2 steps walking up to the kitchen, and then there's a little passageway, bathroom and shower, and then our bedroom. And Mew is banished to the bedroom. She's reading in the bedroom because I'm in the living room.
That's terrible, Mike.
Well, it's either that. I mean, if I have my laptop in the bedroom, what sort of impression would I give to Steve's lives? Oh, look, one of the earworms is in his boudoir.
Well, might improve his viewing figures.
Right, I've earwormed from the bedroom before.
Pardon?
I've earwormed from a bedroom before.
Well,
for you, Mike.
Yeah, but you're from down the west coast, aren't you? Weird people down there.
Yeah, weird people down there. Right,
they have genuine web feet. Let me tell you, Steve.
We make people from Norfolk look normal.
Normal?
Yeah, you do.
There ain't nothing about normal in Norfolk, mate.
I'll tell you what.
There's another new name, guys. Somebody called Wooden.
Wooden.
Channel name.
Good evening.
Good evening and welcome. Right, let's get some shape on this.
Excuse me, that's my line, Kerville.
Well, sorry, what did you say? What did I say?
I've got that patented, mate.
Oh, right, okay, sorry. I'll give you that. I'll send the 12 pence over to you. It's like some people turn up, you say good evening and sod off.
No, do people do that?
No, I can't say that. I'm sorry, I'm not on my channel, am I? I can't be rude.
Don't like that.
Dave Otie says, you say we're weird, Mike. You're from Wales.
Yeah, that's right. But I'm in exile in England, don't forget.
This is, of course, true. Mike's from Wales.
Yeah. The best news about that's come out of Wales at the moment is that they've actually abolished the bridge toll now, so you can go in and out of Wales for free.
Terry is actually shouting, "Change the camera!
Change the camera!"
Spirit Wind, Stone and Bone, Wood, Stone and Bones in. Hi.
That's Heather.
I've been turning since January and only learned by watching YouTube. Figured that's why I'd video my learning journey on YouTube for other beginners. Brilliant idea.
That's a great idea.
That's exactly what I did, Heather. Exactly the same thing I did.
Certainly.
And it just turned into a whole, just kind of snowballed. And
Brian got in with the wrong people, cost him a lot of money for computers and cameras, and
fell in the likes of Steve and Mark and Pete, Perry, PJ Turning.
Pete's got a lot to answer for because he's so
absolutely.
giving of his knowledge, isn't he? I mean, the hours that he spent with me, well, Mark as well. Just so I can say there were two people on there. But I'll tell you what, just a little side story while Steve's turning this goblet. What is the wood, Steve?
Well, I don't know. I think that's a piece of ash. What do you think?
I thought it was ash, but it's I thought it was.
So Rob CP's at it again, guys. Question, please. Is Steve Carville going to pay homage to Mike and do a 2-part goblet?
Well, how many cracknesses? Anything's possible.
Who said that, Brian?
That was Rob CP again. You know that.
Right. Well, Mark's not. Right, Rob. I was going to say Mark's not here. So I was going to say my next live in a couple of weeks. Will you please ban Rob CP from the chat? Actually, the homage should be 3 parts now because I'm into 3-part goblets now.
All right. Okay, that's good.
No, I'm into bowls now. I've found bowls.
The international colorist is turning bowls next. You'll be competing with Stuart Ferrini next.
No, I doubt it.
Yes, I know. And Darren Carson is wondering how can it cost a fortune? You guys in the UK have made it everything being $12.99.
That's only when our other halves are listening. It's $12.99.
That's only when the better halves are listening.
Yeah.
Oh, sugar, mine's is listening.
$12.99. That's a bit expensive, isn't it?
That's what I thought.
Good grief.
So some of these bowl gouges and things that you buy are just ridiculously priced at $12.99. Gee.
Under a tenner, I wouldn't buy one otherwise.
Steve, is this going to be a goblet or a chalice?
Well, I'm thinking more chalice because I want it old and chunky looking.
Oh, but you said goblet at the start. I mean,
oh, I see. That's what it is. Yeah, he mentioned my name and he wanted it to look old and chunky like I do.
Mike, have you spoken to Ed recently? How is he? Because he's not been on.
Ed Oliver.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I've had many a 4-letter exchange with Ed Oliver. After he said my tattoos were stick-on ones.
That's really funny.
But yeah, he's in fine fettle. He's down to his usual standard, so fear not.
Dewey, Mike's already answered that question. So Dewey's asked again, what was Mike's favourite wood turn?
I'll tell you, Dewey, because you're a Welshman, mate. I'll take the time to speak to you separately. It's ash, actually. There are a lot of woods I love turning, but ash I think is my favourite, closely followed by yew. I tell you what, actually, I didn't say I've turned olive wood about 3 or 4 times, and olive wood is a lovely wood to turn as well.
Yes.
It's a lovely wood.
Although it makes a mess of the bedways.
Yes, yes, it does.
And Lawrence Bajia has asked a question, Mike. Is anyone in your family interested in turning?
No.
Yes, but that's a bit like my family. Nobody is interested, just me.
My wife would rather she's told me on several occasions, stick red hot knitting needles in her eyes. Then, yeah, and I mean, and she loves me dearly, so she says. Anyway, well, I bought these knitting needles and put them on the fire. No, there's nobody at all. My daughter quite likes what I turn.
Yeah.
Although, in fairness, her husband has said enough's enough, you know, for the gallery.
Well,
but
yeah, kind of once your house is full, you cannot stop it.
Yeah. But
you know,
I've got a lot of plastic containers, 8 or 9, I think, are the big ones, full of stuff I've turned. You know, some of it's okay, some of it's not. But no, none of my family have got any interest at all.
I have racks of stuff behind me here in my office.
Mm.
I didn't realize I'd done so many bowls.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is that I don't do craft fairs and stuff like that because I haven't got the time to do it. So it just builds up.
Yeah. And
sometimes I'll put a piece on I've turned and I'll put it back on again and turn it down to a toothpick or something, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, they can also
be
reused.
I've got coming for anybody, well, not interested. Just a bit of an aside. A friend of mine rang me up, an ex-work colleague actually, and he's got an allotment, and every now and again, some old boy comes along and said, "Oh, I'm taking a so-and-so tree down. Do you want me to drop some off for firewood or whatever?" And you know, everybody in the allotment then sort of takes what they want. Well, of course, since I've known him, he knows a woodturning. Every now and again, he rings me up, and apparently there's a very large English walnut tree which is being dropped off there over the next few weeks. So he said, "Do I want any?" I said, "I'll camp there if you like." So, but I think I'm very lucky, and a lot of other people are lucky. If you don't, I don't buy much wood because I'm offered a lot of wood, you know, because I know a few people in the wood game and that.
Yep.
But it makes me laugh when people say, "Oh, get friendly with your local arborist." Well, that's fine if you can get friendly with them. But I sent, years ago, emails to every arborist, if you like, that I saw vans and I was making phone numbers and that, and not one of them got back to me.
No.
Not one.
I've tried that as well. It doesn't work.
Yeah. And I was told the reason is they get inundated with, and especially now because there are more people wood turning, they get inundated with requests for wood. So
Brian Watkins has joined us. He says, "I'm from Spain, and olive wood is one of the main woods from the firewood suppliers."
Yes. Yeah.
It's fabulous wood to turn, he says. He's right, it is.
Benjamin's added it. You can't go wrong with walnut. Walnut seems to be Ben's favourite wood because everything is walnut, as far as he's concerned.
Yeah, I think in the early days, if you like, it forms your whichever wood you turn the most of. Becomes your favourite wood because you feel at home with it. You know how it reacts. You know what you need to do to get the best from it, etc. So it becomes your favourite wood. It doesn't mean to say that you don't like turning other woods. I mean, if olive wood was readily available and it was grown in this country, then quite possibly olive wood would be up there with ash and yew on a regular turning basis. You know. But a lot of people find. I mean. You said earlier on, pine and poplar, absolutely brilliant woods to learn to turn on and to practice on. I mean, I use it. I use pine now. When I go back now after 2 weeks away, it's going to be 3 weeks before I turn the lathe on. I'll be getting the old pine out and getting used to it. I'm not going to do it on a piece of ash, am I?
Rob CP's asked another question, Mike. Do you like captive rings?
Pardon?
Do you like captive rings?
Shall I be honest with you? Not a lot. Not because I don't like doing them. I don't see the point of them, to be honest with you. They can enhance a bit. It's a little bit of it's good. It's good practice. And actually, turning a captive ring is not difficult. And I don't mean to sound pious. It's the finish which is most difficult. The inside, the little ridge that you get, inevitably. To me, that is the hardest part of turning a captive ring. Well, get it to look right.
I thought the hardest part for you, Mike, was putting the masking tape on to hold the sandpaper.
I've just got to swiftly move on from that. You're very lucky that I'm not hosting this, actually, Mark. There would be a big black square where you are currently.
It's fine.
Woodturning by Barry is asking. I've lost the question. Oh, there it is. Is silver birch any good to turn?
Apparently, yes.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. Somebody said silver birch. I've never actually turned it, but people say silver birch. There's a terrific firework display going on over the harbour here, and a lot of banging going on. I mean, fireworks. There's silver birch. Apparently, is a really good wood to turn.
Yeah, a couple of people in the chat have said it is.
Yep. Richard Flores has joined us. Good evening,
Hi, Richard. How are you? I'll tell you what's a good wood to turn as well, but it is bland. Even in my book, is lime. It turns like butter.
It does. Don't you find you get terrible tear out with it?
You can do, yeah. But when you get a bit more experience, Mark, and you sharpen your tools properly, you'll find it cuts really nicely.
Boom.
Look at your screen, Bob. Look at your screen.
Nice one, Mike. Nice one.
Yeah, no, I agree. It does. It does tear out. I'll tell you one wood I have never turned. Has anybody turned willow?
I have, yes.
And?
Very, very nice to turn.
Right.
Takes colour well, but will crack. Just look at it wrong and it'll crack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hawthorn's the same.
I'll tell you what.
Pete from Twisted Tree says he had to spend money at the timber yard this week. Picked up a large bundle of walnut offcuts, which he's busy thinking up project for.
Well, you can always send me a couple of bits there, Pete. Never done walnut yet.
Walnut.
All right,
let's just seal these up.
Sorry,
Michael Howe says, thumbs up for the lime. He's got loads of it.
Yeah.
And Neil M turned a willow mushroom today.
Very good. Mushroom. I hope you put hashtag mushroom on it and sent the pictures to Steve. Not Morsi,
Yep, unfortunately.
Are you sure this is ash with all these cracks in it?
You all right, Mike?
It's a cracking piece of wood. Cracking piece of wood.
I'll be back in a minute. Right.
Okay.
It's cracked willow, he says. Oh, Benjamin says, question, Mike. He's not there. We'll ask him when he comes back.
Pete says he's going to slip a piece into Mark's onboard luggage. No, you won't.
Good man, Pete.
Take a pair of socks out. You'll be all right.
So Benjamin's asking a question there, Mike.
Yep.
You ready for this?
Yep.
Question. Mike, if it was you turning this goblet, do you think you would have it done by now?
No, definitely not. Actually,
no idea what Ben's trying to say there.
No,
are we boring you, Ben?
No.
Oh, the turning's fabulous.
Sonic.
Apart from the hedgehog that keeps getting in the picture.
I love the shape of that, actually. For a chalice.
It's nice shape.
Yeah. It's a good call, good on a chalice as well with the cracking on there, Steve.
Mark Ballantyne says holly is nice to turn, but it moves a lot when it dries.
Yeah.
It's very white holly, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Mark, I find all the wood I turn moves, and it normally moves through the air at great speed. If it's a walnut. Do you know? I'm not
with wings.
Yeah.
I think that's all of them.
William Kenny has just suggested, Brian, I have a load of walnut, but you have to come down to Carlow to collect it. I'll be on my way next weekend, William.
He'll be there tomorrow, about 8 o'clock.
No, I can't do that. I'll
Right,
have to pick Mark up at the airport at 8 o'clock.
That's
No,
all right,
may
he'll
I
wait
say-
for a bit of
I
walnut.
was going to say, you go, Brian. That means you won't have to see Mark. You just tell your good lady, I'm sorry, I'm going away for a week walnut hunting.
Yeah, we walnut hunting, yeah.
Yeah.
No. Please don't leave. Please don't leave us at the airport.
Yeah, just stranded up there.
Lonely. Oh, so lonely.
I'll pick him up, but I'll just leave Mark there. So we'll see you in a week, mate.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's
Are
a
you,
good idea.
have you never
You
seen
can
the
walk-
film Terminal, Mark?
Yeah.
Donald B has just joined us. Donald B Woodworking.
Hi,
Woodturning.
Donald. How you doing?
Hi, Donald.
Good evening,
evening,
and welcome. As Steve would say.
Hello,
No,
good
no,
evening
hang
and
on.
welcome.
I just had the 12p through PayPal, so you can use it now, Steve.
Thanks, mate. Right, let's just turn these little bits
Who
off.
did that? Whose catch line was that? Whose tagline was that? Hello, good evening and welcome.
Oh, that was me. No, it was.
Oh, it wasn't you.
no,
You,
I know
you
it wasn't.
stole it from somebody else, Mike.
Hello. Good evening. And welcome. Oh, wasn't it Frost?
David Frost.
Yes,
No,
David
yes,
Frost.
David Frost. Yeah,
That's who stopped.
good friend of mine, Dave.
Really?
Jared the French turner says, Mark, you could just take the next flight to Cork. We'll be welcome here and no problem.
Oh, thank you very much, Gerard. Maybe next year.
Gerard, you'd welcome anybody. If you would. Notice he won't say, but you're welcome too, Mike and Brian and Steve and Rob CP.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Mike, that Mark's a YouTube influencer.
Oh, don't
Yeah, that's
start.
That's true. Yes, he is.
Careful.
Yeah.
This is very true, of course.
No, no.
An infamous, famous.
Infamous, yeah. An infamous YouTube influencer. I think we're all infamous YouTube. We influence.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I really
influence myself, never been anybody else.
that terminology really does get my back up. It does.
It does a bit. Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
God bless America. With respect to anybody from the US, but an influencer is not really. No, the term I would think I can't use it. I wouldn't even use it on my channel, so I can't use it here. Right. Okay. Have another drink of vodka and Coke.
I like to think of myself as, if anything, I like to think of myself as an encourager, not an influencer. Somebody who encourages other people to do stuff. That's why I started my channel.
I just like to think of myself as somebody who's having a bit of fun turning and sharing it with everybody else.
Exactly.
That's
what life's about.
To show that you could be disabled and still do stuff.
You can indeed. Yep, absolutely.
I quite agree.
Jared French Turner have said, no problem, the more the merrier. But do come in October, November and the Jazz Festival time.
Jazz.
Lawrence is asking you, Mike, have you ever participated in any exhibitions? And I think he means legal ones.
What, related to woodturning, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I've been in. Yes, I have been an exhibitionist in my past. No, not in real life. Not in real life. Not in real life. Only virtually.
Although, don't you have a couple of pieces in a local gallery, Mike?
Oh, you mean? Sorry, I thought you meant. Sorry, I thought you meant had I actually demoed at exhibitions as opposed to at. Sorry, yes, I have. I've got a few pieces.
Robert Robson has said he prefers the term educator.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very good, Robbo. You can always rely on an Aussie for being down to earth.
Yep.
And I mean that as a compliment, Robbo. And I'm glad you're feeling better as well, if I may say.
Great.
Yes.
Pete from Twisted Trees. So now not only am I in trouble with Michelle and Nikki, I'm now also in trouble with Ruth and Pete's wife, Lisa, because Pete bought a new SKU today and blamed me for it.
Well, it's your fault.
Do you know what I'm going to say? Sucks to be you.
Sucks to be me.
Nice one, Steve.
I am not responsible for these grown men buying their own tools.
Yeah. But Michael Howe suggests that I don't need any encouragement.
No,
he's
I think you might be right there.
He's probably right.
I think you. Don't be humble, Brian. It doesn't become you, mate.
I love new tools. It's just I can't help it. I just love new
tool
tools.
junkies.
That's a male thing. That's a male thing.
Yeah,
it is.
The only difference between a child and a grown adult is the price of the tools.
Yeah, you're right there. You're right.
I'm looking for a planer thicknessizer next. That's my next sort of purchase.
Oh,
Joe says I'm still in trouble with her too. I know.
So you should be.
The one good thing now is years and years ago, as I said earlier on, there weren't so many people on YouTube, sort of doing what we're doing now. And I got blamed for everything. Anybody bought anything, Mike Walt's to blame. Well, now there are so many more of us here. The blame has now been equally distributed amongst lots of people.
I would argue
it's taken a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure.
Don't ask about the tractor.
About the what?
Michelle has just put a comment in the chat to say, ask Brian about his tractor.
What about you? Have you got a new tractor, Brian?
No, I haven't got a new tractor. I've got a broken tractor.
All right. So you're going to have to buy a new one.
No, it'll be repairable.
Thanks to you, pair of reprobates, I'm now getting blamed for somebody buying a chainsaw instead of booking a holiday. Cheers, Michael.
Well, that's true. I remember him suggesting that you should buy that, Michael. I remember that. It's definitely Mark's fault. DJ Turney says, candles have a sale on
the top of the road.
Planer thicknessizer, great price, £100 for the walk.
Dave Oatey bought a thicknesser from a car boot sale, Pendine car boot at the top of the road here, £50.
Oh.
Are you looking to get a planer thicknesser, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If I had the room, I've got a thicknesser a few years ago, and they are great bits of kit. I don't use it an awful lot, but it does a good job. But I'd really love one of those, a good cast iron planer thicknesser.
Oh yeah.
Can't justify it.
I've got the record power one. Absolutely brilliant bit of tool. Thickness up.
Is that what you flip it up when?
Yeah,
you use it as a.
Yeah, you use the top as a planer, and then if you want the thicknesser, you take the top plate off of it, and then that goes underneath it to obviously thin it out.
Colin's asking a question. He's thinking of getting a record power SC4 chuck. Do you still need to get an adapter, or do they come with one?
Oh, here we go. No, don't. If you're getting the companion chuck, save your money and buy the actual SC4 kit, the M33 by 3.5. I bought a companion chuck, and then I had to buy the insert with it, which ended up being, what was it, £6 cheaper than buying the whole kit.
Yeah.
Which would have been with the whole kit. You get replacement jaws and buy the kit. Don't buy just the companion. Yeah. Don't just buy the companion chuck.
And apparently, this chainsaw that I'm getting the blame for costs £1,400. That's a hell of a chainsaw.
That's a skill. That's a skill one, isn't it? I shouldn't get that price.
Michael,
that is some price for a chainsaw.
I know I still owe you for those blanks and that bandsaw, but mate, don't be spending £1,400 on a chainsaw.
You need to buy £1,450 worth of wood off him now.
So do you. You're taking the van down there next time.
Michelle suggests I should just keep on looking as opposed to buying.
Terry says he's had the kitty planer thicknesser for 20 years now. Great bit of old kit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pete was very kind to me. He actually sent me a pen mandrel. He was very, very kind, I thought. But then I discovered that he sent it to get rid of it.
Yeah. We all knew what he was doing, Brian. Just none of us said anything to you.
Yeah, thanks, Pete.
Have you ever turned pens, Mike?
So
yes.
Mike,
yeah, I've still got 20 or 30 in a case. I went mad on it with pens in the beginning. When I started, it's very addictive. It's very addictive.
It can be, can't it?
Oh, yeah. There was a time when I was doing nothing else but pens, and I really, really loved it. And then all of a sudden, I got bored with it. I didn't go into the resin, into the composite blanks and stuff like that. But yeah, I did enjoy it at the time. But I haven't. I don't think I've turned a pen seriously for about 5 years.
I've only turned about 8.
Steve?
Hey,
what's that you're adding there? Just to remind people you're actually still
turning?
in the background turning.
It's a piece of Chestnut Products sand and sealer, just to seal it before I colour it.
So Michael Howell has said he's just bought an MS881 and a new bar. I have no idea what that is.
That's a chainsaw.
Yeah.
It's obviously a chainsaw, yeah. I get that, but I have no idea what an MS881 is.
That's a skill chainsaw, isn't it? I'm sure it is.
Still, MS881 chainsaw.
Yeah. Good piece of kit. Skill of best, that's what I use for work. We use the disc cutters, any decent Kangos.
Robert Robertson has made a comment about pens. Oh, that's a beaut.
Oh, yeah.
Robbo loves doing pens.
Robert says pens. It is an addiction, and I avoided it.
Yeah. Very wise, Robbo. Yeah. I did actually.
See, Robbo says that, but I think he protests too much. I think secretly, in the deep, dark recesses of his workshop, he has a lathe dedicated to pens.
He is Mr. Papermate.
Yeah. And Pete from Twisted Trees has just confirmed my thoughts. I got bored with pens too, Mike. Managed to find some mug to take the mandrel from me, so I don't have to turn them anymore. Yeah, thanks, Pete.
Pete, you know what? I found somebody as well who was a bit of a mug. He took 20 pen blanks off me.
Yeah.
I just sent them to him, and he thought I was doing him a favour.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
Jeez. Right, I'm going to try and mask this up without getting a wonky line on this.
Not masking tape.
Could you show me how you use the masking tape, please?
Sorry?
I see. That's Scottish masking tape, is it? I've never seen masking tape that thin.
This is detail tape when you use for painting cars, yeah?
Yeah, I realise, yeah.
Detail.
Notice how easy that was to put on there, Mike.
Steve?
Yes, mate.
A personal question. How old are you?
49.
Right. 49, 59, 69. Yeah, I was using that where you took the middle out to put your pinstripes on the side of your car before you were born.
Pinstripes. They're the days of the past, didn't they? Pinstripes.
Yeah, I should say. But I tell you what, you see, if I was wood turning then, the bit you took out of the middle, I got to rewound it and use it as detailing tape on a goblet. Think of that. You are, Brian. That would appeal to your tight sense of living, wouldn't it?
Yeah. What are you trying to say? I'm miserable? Or a Scotsman?
No.
I've just got cramped my leg.
Oh, karma.
You're one of the... Goodbye.
Karma?
No, he had to go, because I was just about to say, you're the first generous sweaty I've ever met.
Pete did say in the chat earlier, he said that On my way up to Pete's in the morning, I go past Yandles, and I could call in and pick up a thicknesser, plainer thicknesser for Brian.
No, it's not.
Pete does realise that we're going to be going past Yandles at about 2:30 in the morning.
Mark,
I mean,
Brian's in agony now, right?
Yeah, but, just ignore him.
Yeah, just ignore him. I forgot what I was going to say then. Never mind. Wasn't important. Oh yeah, no, it's not a plainer thicknesser that Brian wants. It's a plainer thicknessizer that he wants.
Thicknessizer.
That's a special one. It's a German make, apparently. A thicknessizer.
Ah.
Yeah.
I want to know why Michelle's asking me what side of the bed I sleep on.
Maybe she's joining you.
Is there something I need to know about this weekend?
To know what side to drop the knives on.
Yeah. Yeah, and the powdered glass.
Is Brian all right? Or is he still crying in the corner?
It's all this exercise he's doing. It's not good for you, I tell you.
I'll tell you what, as you get older, and Brian's nowhere near as old as me, I get cramp in bed sometimes, wakes me up in the middle of the night, and you do not like that's the nearest I could assume it is to having a baby, because you just don't know what to do with yourself. It is pain.
To answer your question, Michelle, even though it is quite odd, if you stand at the foot of the bed and look towards the headboard, I sleep on the right-hand side.
It's all gone quiet now.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently she's going to put itching powder in that side of the bed then. Oh, fair enough.
Okay.
Kim sleeps on the right-hand side.
Poor old Kim.
God, I tell you what, I feel for Brian at the moment. I really do.
Especially if he's got cramp.
Oh, well, yeah, that's the only reason I feel for him.
20-mile run, Brian. That's what you need. Work it off.
He still hasn't come back. Roger Mill says Michelle wants to know which side to put the hedgehog in.
Right, so I don't want nothing on the end there, so I'm going to put some tape, wider tape, on the end.
You're going to colour this then?
Yeah, I'm going to do the top and the base black.
Right.
And then I'm going to put some gill cream over it.
And we switched the treadmill on. Ah, gee whiz. I can't sit down again. I'll just stop. Oh boy.
Sit down. Sit down. You make the place look untidy.
Sitting down. I'll plug my chair in and get the vibrating chairs working and see will that help it.
Gerard, the French turner, says cramp, sign of bad blood circulation.
What?
Terry says drink tonic water.
Tonic water?
Tonic water, yeah. It does get rid of cramp.
Tonic water is revolting.
But it does get rid of cramp.
It's the quinine in it. Oh, you used to have quinine in it, isn't it? Used to.
It's only one side, it's okay. It's only one of the big muscles that's cramping, it's okay.
You're about when you do your 5K tomorrow, that'll burn it off.
Yep, it will indeed. Let me just sit down here and see what that. Drink pickle juice, Dara says. Yeah, thanks, Dara.
Pickle juice.
And Jean says Brian went to get a curly whirly. Shirley's not in, is she?
Twisted Tree says, Brian,
really
tonic water on its own is dangerous. Add vodka to dilute it.
Yes.
Oh, no, I'd have to add gin. I couldn't drink tonic water and vodka. I mean, come on. You're being ridiculous now.
There must be something wrong with me because I really do like tonic water.
Really? Something I ever got a taste of, really. Magnesium is good, yeah, Darren. I've got a magnesium spray that I use, Darren.
Is tonic water what the Americans called soda water or not?
Say again.
Tonic water, is that what the Americans called soda water or soda?
No. No, soda's like top, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, right.
Colin from Woodwardry saying that sodium is sodium deficiency as well.
Yep. Gary Bartlett suggests standing on a barefoot on a cold floor. Yeah, I've done that too.
So basically, Brian, you're knackered.
I'm knackered, yeah. Basically, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and Rob's saying there's a few causes of cramp. Yeah, one of them is pain. Oh no, that's a result. That's a result.
That's a symptom.
Yeah.
Right. Ebonize and black.
You see how well that tape's been put on there, Mike?
Yeah.
I've got to ignore that.
The nice thing is, Steve, you've
I'm going to
managed
try
to
and take the pressure off myself.
Oh, look at the end. Mike, look at the
look
end.
at that, Mike. Oh, look how tidy that is.
That's proper tidy, that is.
Oh,
Bang
that's
tidy.
proper tidy taping.
I tell you, that's just, it is, to be honest with you, it is just sleaze. It's wanton.
So Pete suggests he's got the cure. He says, so Krafts, with your gin and tonic, whilst barefoot in the yard.
Yeah.
Covers all bases, doesn't it?
Does. Well, stuffing your face with sodium. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, well, salt on the crisp, you see. I think that's where he was going with that.
Now, what you want to do now, Steve, is go the extra mile and get the hot glue gun out. and then spray red over it.
I tried that and I couldn't get the hot glue off.
Yeah, you did that earlier last year.
Try dripping some candle wax.
Right.
That's a good idea.
Terry suggested to me the other day, and all you have to do is kind of just wipe it off again, and it'll come back off. Terry suggested that the other day when I was making a mushroom. Paint it red, or drip some wax on the white wood, if you're using kind of whitish wood, and then paint the red over the top, and then just peel the wax back off.
But you got to sand and seal it first, haven't you? If not, the wax won't peel off.
Right.
You know, come off all right. Just sand it back a little bit. Be fine.
Guys, I'm going to have to say a good night because I've got to get up in 4 hours' time and drive to Bristol.
Yeah.
Get on an airplane.
Is that your excuse?
Oh, seriously, I do. We've got to get up at 1 o'clock because we've got to leave here by 1:30 to be at Pete's so that we can be at the airport at 5 a.m.
Ah.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to say good night.
Good night, Mark.
Yeah. I'll see you in the morning, Brian.
Everybody say good night to Mark, folks. Everybody say good night.
See you, Mark. Thanks for coming over.
That's looking really, really nice, Steve. Dare say you'll see posts and whatever, what we're getting up to. And I'll see you in Monday night. I'll see you on Monday night in Brian's Live, because I dare say we're going to be hovering in the background.
Hovering?
Maybe doing something. Hovering. There may be turning ahead.
Lovely to see you again, Mike. Great to see
you too. Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
See you in a couple of weeks.
See you later, Mark.
You take care.
See you later, Steve. Thanks for having me in.
See you, buddy.
See
you in the morning.
See you in the morning. Bye.
There he goes. Go on, say it now, mate. Thank God he's away.
No, I wouldn't. I'll only say it when you can hear me. There's no fun. There's no fun if he can't hear you.
Yeah, right. Ah, dear.
There's the leg, Brian.
It's not so bad. I've got this office chair I have has sort of 3 positions of vibration on it, and one's on my thigh, so it works. It's kind of
working,
massaging the thighs as we sit here.
Right,
but that was painful. I'm
going to try something. I've never tried this paint over the Ebenezer lacquer. So I'm going to put this blue over the black and see if it crackles.
I just bought a tin of that.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, and it says black. I forget what it's called. It's got a strange name, black something. I don't remember. But it's the same Crackle paint.
I'll get some really good effects with this over normal paint, but I've never tried it over the black ebony or black ebony.
I was going to try and do something red and then let the Crackle the black over the top of the red.
Yeah.
Some questions above, Brian. Oh, that's Rob CP has some questions.
Not Rob again.
Oh, Rob says, question, has anyone ever used paraffin candle wax as a finish? I certainly haven't.
No, I haven't either.
Paraffin candle wax? I think so. Not something I've heard of.
Right, so I'm going to put some wood over the bed in my lathe so I don't get my lathe covered.
I'd just like to thank everybody for their kindness and compassion whilst I was having a severe cramping fit there. Jared says, they shoot horses, don't they? Thanks, Jared. Another new name for me. Grumpy's Woodturning. Has anybody heard that name before anywhere? Grumpy's Woodturning. A new one on me. Welcome along, Grumpy.
Good evening, Grumpy, and welcome.
So that, sorry, that should now crackle open.
How long does it take, Steve, normally?
Couple of minutes, if that.
Really?
You should really allow the base coat dry a little bit better, but obviously on a live we can't do that. So
no.
Pete from Twisted Tree says, in reference to the paraffin wax, he says, paraffin wax is milky white, so won't give a good finish. And Rob CP says, I was praying for you, Brian. Yeah, you were. Rob.
Yeah, but what sort of prayer was it, Rob?
Yeah.
Please let the pain carry on for a bit longer.
Continue, yeah.
Yeah. So what are you doing now, Steve?
I'm just drying off with a hot air gun.
All right, okay.
Just trying to try and make it go a little bit quicker. Can you see it starting to crackle?
So
yeah.
Basically, the process with the crackle paint is it shrinks just.
Yeah.
Right,
Say ideally the base coat should have been a bit dry. It should really leave the base coat about 40 minutes.
So what you mean is it sort of shrinks and then reveals what's underneath, yeah?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Right, okay. See us Welsh aren't that stupid. Are we doing?
Yeah, a kind of crazy pave effect.
It's actually looking better on the tailstock than it is on the tail.
So Grumpy's Woodturning, guys, is from Newmarket, Tennessee.
I do like that neat bit of masking tape work there as well, Steve. Very, very professional.
Oh, thank you, sir.
On the end.
Yeah, the end piece, yeah.
Don't think it was necessary, but there you go.
Mark said to me, I'm only coming in here if you do some masking.
It's really quite unnerving when you think I've been turning for 10 years and what am I remembered for? Three main things. Number one, I don't like colour. Number two, I break goblets. And number three, I can't use masking tape. So
well, that could be worse.
It's not a great accolade, is it? It's on my tombstone. Here lies a man who couldn't use masking tape, didn't like any colour in his life, and kept breaking anything he made.
Goodbye, Mike.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, goodbye, Mike. Good riddance.
Oh, Gerard is asking a question. He says, Brian, wake up. Sorry, Gerard. Third time he says, if you're using carefully a hot glue gun, you might be able to get the glue off. Well, you can get the glue off. It should just peel off.
I did one and I couldn't get the glue off of it.
Yeah.
If
you've got real open grain wood, it might kind of bury itself in a little bit. But
yeah, I had it. I did it quite years ago. I did a goblet and a bowl, and I honestly, you get a bit of a problem with tiny little bits of the glue, but most of it came off like a spider's web.
Mm.
Yeah, I've tried it as well. It does actually come off.
Yeah.
But I think it definitely depends on the wood you're using, I think.
Yeah, I was using ash, but I had put cedar on as well, obviously. So
I just need to clean.
I like that effect. That's good.
So I just need to clean that edge there because we've got a little bit of a line where the mask can work very well. Very good.
Pete from Trusted Trees is suggesting, Mike, that Ed said he regrets introducing you to colour. It's cost him some new monitors. Did you spray some paint about, did you?
We certainly did when I went down to visit, yeah. It went everywhere.
Yeah. I remember saying that. That was a good Saturday morning.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. If it wasn't for Ed, it would have been a great day, to be honest with you.
Poor old Ed. Not here to defend himself.
You're getting a bit stickier as well, Mike. So Trevor, the hobby turner, says Mike also has a penchant for leaving cameras on the Pro Edge.
Yeah. It was in my. Actually, it was in my contract, Trevor.
That's what it was. There has to be at least a 20-minute segment of Pro Edge.
Yeah. I got a 13 pence discount off Ed when I bought it if I promised to give it at least 10 minutes.
Right, I'm going to leave that natural, I think,
well, he
to
was
match
generous that day.
the inside. Au naturel, I think.
Yeah, I do like that effect.
Benjamin suggests you can get craft glue sticks for glue guns that have a weaker bond than normal glue sticks.
Yeah, I think that was the problem with mine. Mine are I use a glue stick. That's an industrial one. So once it's down, it never comes away. So I think that was the problem I had. That it stuck too well. Right, so a little bit of wax on there. Being careful of the paint because the paint's still green.
You may get away with just not having your gun quite so hot as well with your glue.
Yeah, true. Right, so a little tiny bit of wax on the inside.
That's actually a sensible comment from Benjamin there, guys. I'm stunned and amazed now. I'm lost now.
Well, because he did a sensible comment.
Yeah.
I think it's the first one that's been publicly aired, actually. From what I understand, Ben, with respect. Sorry, without respect.
Right, so just put a little bit of Hampshire sheen on this. Just give it a little bit of a sheen.
I'll tell you what, it's very effective.
Yes. It's looking nice, I have to say.
Just touch the paint there, look. Should have let it dry, really. Never mind.
Robert Robertson suggests that Steve's superpower is funnels.
We all have a power. Right, I'm not going to power that off because that's still wet and I'm going to drop that and get shavings all in it and all sorts. But you can see, let me bring it a bit closer. You can see the sort of effect that I'm...
Still saying it.
Yeah, that's good.
The lights kind of... can you switch your overhead lights off there just a second to see?
Yeah.
No, that didn't work either.
No. If I turn all the lights off, I'll be black. There you go.
This might be a stupid suggestion. I'm not saying you should do it now, just asking out of interest because, although I'm an internationally renowned colorist, I know nothing about color at all, which is ironic, really. When it dries completely, Steve,
yep.
would you be able to, let's say, put an embellishing wax in or something?
Yes, you could. Yep. Because
you'll
have those little tiny recesses.
That's what I mean. So like if you put bronze or gold in there, that would sort of highlight the cracks almost. Okay.
Yeah, you could do that. And if you look on the end where I've caught it with a little bit of wax, don't know if you can see that, can you? No, let me move it. Let me just.
Yeah.
Can you just see in there where I've caught it with a little bit of wax?
Yeah, that's in there.
Obviously, that would be similar to your gild cream, wouldn't it, or embellishing wax?
Okay. Yeah.
So you can.
Thanks for that.
But there you go. I think I'm not going to, like I say, I'm not going to part it because it's still tacky. Yeah. So I'm going to leave it at that.
The wood dude has just joined us. He's a bit late.
Dude.
He says, I'm a tad late, but it looks good so far.
Thank you. Hello, JP's in. Hi, JP.
Hi, JP.
Mr. JP, how are you?
Right, so let's bring you gentlemen back.
Oh, no.
This smiley mark in the top corner, look.
The smiley face mark is right.
Yeah. Mark has actually gone to sleep with a smile. He is there, but he's smiling, but he's sleeping.
Yeah.
With his eyes open.
Right then. So there we go. Small piece. Obviously a goblet or a chalice, whatever you want to call it. It's a bit chunky.
Chalice.
Shame about the wood because the wood was all cracked, but we made the best of it. But it's all practice, isn't it? That's the main thing. It's all practice.
Yeah, a really good demo there, Steve.
Thank you very much, sir. So if anybody's got any more questions before we go, because I'm sure Mike's got better things to do than being with us.
No.
No,
But yes, I've got to say yes, because that good lady possibly hear me. Love you. She's got a nose in a good book, and she'd be really upset when I say I'm finished. Oh God.
She goes, oh really?
Yeah.
Right. So there's no more. Is there any questions coming in?
No, don't see any.
No. Right. Okay. Let me just check
Great show,
these.
Steve.
That's my pleasure, Terry. I've really enjoyed it, and you've all been great. You've all been apart from there was supposed to be somebody turning, but we didn't turn up, obviously.
Just here to make numbers up. I am.
Yeah. And a fine job you did of it too, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you on, sir. Like I've always said.
Yeah.
Right.
Is the sick bucket out of? Yeah, it's out of camera.
It's
okay.
you. Yeah, it's you.
Vince Carrigan is asking when are you going to do a chip and dip? We
Well,
only do them when Mark's in the.
Yeah, I did one of them, and Mark got upset about it.
He did a bit, yeah. Grumpy's Woodturning says you guys are outstanding. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And
very kind.
Just to say, while JP's in the chat, myself and Brian have been asked to do the next virtual crafty, which is on the 18th, I believe, next Saturday.
That's correct.
So keep an eye out for the links.
3 o'clock.
And I'm on at
4 o'clock.
Yes, 4 o'clock. That's it.
Yeah.
So make sure you keep an eye out for the links. Another great day of awesome turners. Again, thank you to JP and Carl for the invite.
It won't just be turners, of course. There are other makers involved, so
yep, there are.
It'll be a good day, all in all.
I haven't seen the lineup yet, but hopefully that'll come out soon. But no, I'm looking forward to it. Just got to just decide what I'm going to do.
That is always a problem, yeah.
Well, it's hard because you only get an hour, and you've obviously got to be. You haven't got. I did a Blue Peter one before, so I had something that was finished, but it's hard to find something that you can do within that hour. So you know what I mean, because it's a slim line, but I'll find something.
Yep.
When Brian when Brian tells what he's doing, I'll do what Brian's doing.
If I could just intercede there, the people that are left, what Steve meant to say, as you realised when he was making the explanation of what he's doing within the hour, is that the virtual craft fair will have a lot of awesome turners on there, and also there'll be Brian and Steve.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct.
You hit the nail on the head there, Mike.
Thanks for that clarification, Mike. Appreciate that.
You have hit the nail directly on the head. There we go. We've got Bobby and Nicole Duke participating this time, apparently. Well, participating.
Cool.
So that'd be good. No, it's always nice. I do like doing the crafty festivals because it's always nice to, you know what I mean? You're perhaps the same. Like when you do a live, you get a lot of the same people come in. So you'll get the same names. But obviously when you're doing the crafty, you get a lot of other people from like America and Australia and Canada and all the other countries coming in with it as well. So it's nice to get the new names in the chat.
Well, it's a great event. It really is.
It's
been going some time now.
Yeah, this must be the 6th or 7th one.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's brilliant. It is brilliant.
That's good because it brings the community together as well.
And power to JP, Mr. Jamie Page, and Carl for putting it on and keeping it going too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. I can imagine it's no easy feat. I know how hard it is to get guests to come on like yourself, because obviously people working commitments and other things. You know, we all got families to worry about.
I've never been invited, Steve, so I wouldn't know, mate.
Yeah, JP.
Ooh, like a knife through your heart. That was JP.
No, Jamie and I know each other pretty well. I can say what I like to Jamie because he says what he likes to me, and he don't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care, right?
Right then, guys. If there's no more questions,
Kenny says, William Kenny says, thanks for a great evening, guys.
You're welcome, William. Thanks for coming over and bearing with us.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. And thank you very much once again to Steve for inviting me. I am humbled and honoured to have been part of this. It's brilliant. Absolutely.
We'll perhaps have you on again next year, mate.
Anytime I'm free, I'll be more than happy.
Good. That's nice to hear. That's good that you've enjoyed yourself. And like we always tell everybody, it's all having a bit of fun.
Providing you send me my 12p back. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah,
JP just said he's lying. Oh, I'm reading that out because Mike can't see the chat, you see. That's why I read that.
I can now, actually.
You can. That's okay.
Yeah, people have gone to bed around in Whitby now, you see, so I've got more bandwidth.
It's gone through the roof now.
Yeah, I've got 4 meg now. Yeah.
Right, so there's no more questions. We'll knock it on the head then. Have you got anything to say before we go, Mike?
Yeah, just thanks very much for everybody that's turned up. It's been a great evening, a great turn. Lovely to see you again, Brian, and I look forward to the next time.
There you go. So, I'll see you Sunday. Brian will see you Monday evening.
Yep.
So we'll make sure we push Brian's and Terry's channel on Sunday, or Nick will, shall I say, and on the Nicky show. And we're going. So enjoy your weekend, folks. Thanks again to Mike for coming over. Thanks to Brian. Thanks to Mark. You've sat very still, mate. Mark. You can move now. We're now going. So I'll see you guys. Have a great weekend. Speak to you soon, and I'll see you Sunday. Take care.
Cheers.
And
good night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye for
now. Good night, everyone.
Good night, all.
Cheers, mate.
Hang around, Mike, for a minute.
Okay.